Alright guys, today I'm going to be talking about gun safety. I've always heard these rules as what's called the 10 Commandments of gun safety. Uh, Different sources vary ever so slightly. Some people might have one thing as a rule and other people might not have that as a rule. So really there's more than just 10. So cross that out. We're going to call this the 14 Commandments of gun safety. All of these safety rules are intertwined and work together. You need to know them all. So, rule number one is treat every firearm as if it is loaded. So, if we take a look right here at this rifle, is it loaded? What about this pistol? Is this one loaded? Yeah, no idea. There is no way of knowing if these firearms are loaded or not until you check it for yourself. Always treat a gun as if it was loaded. So, a little scenario here. You and I are friends. We've known each other forever, and I hand you a firearm, and I tell you that this firearm is unloaded. I checked it myself, right here. Is this firearm loaded? Yeah, of course it is. Until you check it, you don't know until you check for yourself. Treat every gun as if it is loaded until you check for yourself. So, rule number two, keep the muzzle pointed in a safe direction. So the muzzle is the business end of the barrel. Okay, it's where the projectile leaves the barrel, right over here. The muzzle is the most dangerous part of a firearm. So let's see here. These guys, uh, they are all keeping their firearms pointed in a safe direction. You'll notice that they are pointed away from each other. This guy has his pointed up. Up is generally considered the safest direction to point a firearm. So let's see. These guys loading their firearms in their car, not safe at all. Their guns are pointed at each other. If I was in this situation, I would definitely be having a chat with these gentlemen. All right. Rule number three, be sure of your target and what is beyond it. So when you're shooting, you need to know what your target is, what's behind it, what's in front of it, and everything in between. A popular round for target shooting is the 22 caliber rifle. It's pretty small. It can fire a bullet further than 1 mile, whereas a hunting rifle, such as a 30-06, can fire a round over 3 miles. So I got this little thing set up. Let's take a little bit closer look at this. So let's say you're hunting, you see a deer. So you're slowly going to raise your gun up, get the deer in your sights, and you're going to slowly pull the trigger and bang. Aw, crap, you missed, right? Deer ran away. You're upset, you missed the deer. Deer's pretty upset because you tried to shoot him. And let me ask you, who's more upset? Probably this guy that lives in this house back here. Best case scenario, maybe that bullet goes through some guy's window, through his TV, hits his car. Worst case scenario, somebody passes away due to negligence. So rule number four is keep your finger off the trigger until you are ready to shoot. It's pretty self-explanatory. This is called trigger discipline. You don't want to accidentally pull the trigger when you're not ready. So rule number five, never shoot at any hard surface, any flat surface, or the surface of water. So this picture here is taken in the beautiful Flint Hills where I live. A little bit of a closer look. The Flint Hills are very rocky, and if we take an even closer look, you'll see these are hard, flat rocks. Definitely not something you want to be shooting at because the bullets can ricochet. They can fly off in a random direction, and who knows where they're going to end up. Like I said before, some bullets can fly more than 3 miles away. And also, you want to avoid shooting at the surface of water. Same thing, it'll cause a ricochet. If you've ever done a belly flop in a pool, you know that water can be pretty hard, so definitely avoid shooting at the surface of water. Rule number 6, do not point a gun at something that you do not intend to shoot. Guns can be very destructive, and you don't want to have any kind of accidents when you're pointing a gun at some place that it should never be pointed at. Like I said before, a lot of these rules are intertwined. It goes back to keeping your muzzle pointed in a safe direction. Rule number 7, never climb a fence or a tree or jump a ditch with a loaded gun. So, again, you want to minimize accidents. You don't want to have any chance of an accidental discharge where someone can get hurt. So, if you're in a group, if you got multiple people, you can unload your gun, have one person climb the fence or cross the ditch. You hand over the unloaded firearms, and then the second person crosses. If you are alone, then your best practice is to unload the firearm, slide it under or over whatever you're trying to cross. In this case, this woman is crossing a fence, and she unloads her gun, lays it on the ground, then crosses. So, number 8, store firearms and ammunition separately. It's again pretty self-explanatory. The reason you want to do this is so that children or stupid adults don't get access to the ammunition and the firearms and, well, do something stupid. All right, rule number 9. Be sure the barrel is clear of obstructions. So you'll see here in this firearm, there's something that's been lodged in the barrel. So right here, you may have seen something like this in the cartoons when the barrel gets plugged up. This is a very real thing that can happen. This photo is a picture of a rifle that had something in the end of the barrel. The shooter pulled the trigger and the barrel exploded. So if we go back to this young woman from earlier, you'll notice that she's got the muzzle of her gun inside of her cap on the ground. That's so the barrel doesn't get shoved in the dirt, get anything stuck in there. Rule number 10, never carry multiple sizes of ammunition. So the reason you don't want to do that is, again, just to keep the barrel free from obstructions. This picture is a 12 gauge shotgun. Someone has accidentally put a 20 gauge, which is a little bit smaller. It's small enough that it can go into the barrel but not come out, so it'll get stuck just a few inches down. And then they put the proper ammunition inside the gun and pulled the trigger. It blew up right next to your face. That's not something that you want to happen. So, rule 11, when you're not using your guns, keep them unloaded. Easy peasy. Number 12, do not rely on a gun's safety switch. So most guns have a button or switch called the safety that is meant to mechanically disable the trigger and prevent it from firing. But you have to remember that the safety is a mechanical device and can fail, so you never want to rely on that. You don't want to go, oh, the gun's safe, and then point it at your friends, and uh-oh, the safety didn't work like it was supposed to. All right, 13, never shoot at sounds or movement. So, imagine if you're hunting, you're walking along, and you see your trophy buck is walking behind some brush right here. There it is, see the antlers. So you steady your aim, you get the buck in your sights, everything becomes more clear, you pull the trigger, and then, uh-oh, that wasn't the buck you were looking for. It's some fellow hunters walking along. This is why you got to pay attention. Again, this one loops back to knowing your target, what is beyond your target. So that's definitely a mistake that you never want to make. I've seen that happen. It's not good. And lastly, number 14, never mix guns and alcohol or drugs. It's again self-explanatory. So here I've got my reference page. I would love to answer any questions that y'all have. Something I do in my free time. I actually help uh, teach the young 4-H kids and get them involved in shooting sports. A lot of this stuff is part of that curriculum. Uh, so, like I said, feel free, reach out with questions. I'd love to have a discussion. Thanks.